Well, folks, Joe Biden is going out aspirationally, and I am here for it. He's proposing some remarkable changes to the Supreme Court, which signal some new energy on calling a spade a spade. Biden gave a speech at his first public engagement since doing exactly what the country needed and solidifying his legacy. In the speech, Joe said he will push legislation to reform the court that would introduce term limits, an enforceable ethics code, and would change the system so presidents would appoint a justice every 2 years. Biden said, quote, "Extremism is undermining the public confidence in the court's decisions." Yes, Joe! And some flag shenanigans, and secret recordings of disturbingly partisan conversations, and a camper van, some tuition payments, millions of dollars of expensive travel paid for by billionaires with business before the court, and credible assault allegations, and the fact that Mitch McConnell broke the court when he stole a seat from Obama, and of course, the most batshit precedent overturning rulings that have thrown the country into chaos, like affirmative action, and Roe, and Chevron, and presidential immunity, which very well might saddle us with a dictator who shoots people on Fifth Avenue if Orangina wins. But I digress. Joe endorsed 18-year term limits for justices, a code of conduct requiring justices to disclose gifts, mandatory recusal from cases involving financial or other conflicts of interest, including conflicts of interest with their wives, woo woo, and a requirement that justices refrain from political activity. He also proposed an amendment to rein in the court's immunity ruling, aka the premature crowning of Trump as king if he wins. We really should let our imaginations take just a couple of moments to envision these fundamentally fair and not at all radical changes being implemented. We deserve that. But let me remind you that Republicans' assholery is brazen, broad, and bitter, and they have no intention of surrendering even a smidge of power, because they know their smidges are numbered. So, yeah, we know none of this will happen with Moses MAGA Mike Jesus Johnson as Speaker of the House, and a razor-thin Dem majority in the Senate. But a country can dream, right? Well, Moses MAGA Mike Jesus Johnson put on his best "I'm so annoyed I even have to say this" face and said, "It is telling that Democrats want to change the system that has guided our nation since its founding simply because they disagree with some of the court's recent decisions." Yeah, that was the guy who tried to help overturn the last election simply because he disagreed with the choice the voters made. So I think Moses MAGA Mike Jesus Johnson needs to F right off. And of course, in yet another moment where the irony god should absolutely have struck him down with a bolt of lightning, Mitch McConnell said in a speech on the Senate floor, "The Supreme Court is under attack." He said Dems should accept the Craven Court and like it, instead of mounting a, quote, "full schedule attack on the justices who rule against them." Yep, that ancient moldy master of shady tactics did say that. He did. And lucky us, even Leonard Leo, the billionaire cesspool of undue influence, said, "No conservative justice has made any decision in any big case that surprised anyone. So let's stop pretending this is about undue influence." Yeah, it takes a whole lot of douchebaggery to reach Lenny's level of repulsive, but he pulls it off, doesn't he? Well, the New York Times published a chart that shows what the court would look like if Biden's plan for term limits and for presidents to elect a new justice every 2 years had been in place since 1991. Well, shocker! Obama would have appointed 4 justices instead of 2, and Biden would have appointed 2 instead of 1, while Trump would have only appointed 1 instead of 3, and Roberts would have had to retire during Bush's presidency. Yep, isn't it crazy? If we had a system that was fair, right now we would have a 6-3 court with 6 liberal justices and 3 conservatives. That is just how much our system has been torpedoed by nefarious means. Our lives have essentially been overturned because McConnell is a spineless toad and because Ruth Bader Ginsburg didn't step down when she should have. Boy, folks, elections have consequences, don't they? Well, all I can say is get out the freaking vote, folks. We are voting to bring this bullshit back into balance. Let's trounce them so hard, and then let's watch Kamala put us back together and make us whole. Yeah. Well, Supreme Court, have a day. Have a day.